let's speak social media. Social media is just a disaster. I'm gonna have to tell you why it is a disaster and why it just needs to go away. I mean, it doesn't need to go away. It's still useful in some ways, but in this case, it's not good. And the reason why I'm saying social media is not good and why I personally think social media is mediocre is because, one, social media addiction. Now, it isn't always about social media addiction and where it came from. It's not all about obsession, but it's all about your choice and decision among social media. In all this way, TikTok is a problem. I know why it's a problem. Just look at all this crazy shorts and messed up things from this site. Like, literally, it's just, yeah. And to be honest, I think TikTok is quite mediocre for plenty of reasons why it's not good. It's because it's being used too much. It's not because it's not good. It's just not being used the flippin' right way. And that's the thing about social media nowadays. It's not being used the right way due to obsession, addiction. Nowadays, you see like most kids at school who are my age being on phones and being on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. It's just so messed up. Even trying to talk, like when you try to talk to someone, they're on their phone, they're not even looking at you. They're like, but then they'll just go back to their phone. Like, what the heck? Why is this a thing now in society? Nowadays, most kids my age are flipping obsessed with their phone. They can't even take a break from their phone. Like, what's up with that? Like, you think that is going to do any better? Like, what the heck? It's really pathetic. Also, there is the Snapchat. Like, that is just another problem that is really against society is Snapchat. Now, there are news about Snapchat and what it does and everything. There was news about it. And it's pretty much, I was never big on Snapchat, never used it, and after watching the news, I noticed how much Snapchat is just not a good platform at all. And the thing that's funny is that kids use Snapchat, mainly it's not kids, it's teenagers that use Snapchat. Mainly young teenagers do, and older ones too. But the thing is, Snapchat wasn't for teens anyway. It was originally for adults. And that's where it's like, I don't know what the heck is going on. That's where it's like, you shouldn't be on Snapchat. On Snapchat. Snapchat is bad. It's bad. I kind of feel like, what's the purpose of Snapchat when you got Messenger and other ones like that, like WhatsApp. WhatsApp is helpful to message your parents, and that's it. Snapchat, you're just gonna be, teen on Snapchat, friend finding strangers and everything, talking, texting to strangers that I don't even know of, acting like it's privacy. It acts like it's privacy. Acting like Snapchat is kind of privacy place. Snapchat is a social network app, and the thing with social network apps is nothing. Social networking apps are indeed private because all of it is just public, and if it's public, it's being watched by the government. There's a lot of major things that really screws off about social media and other stuff like that. And even though being watched, you know you're gonna get tracked. You're gonna get tracked anyway. You know you're being watched by whole different things. You're being watched by the government or whatever, or the people who even made it. They're collecting your data. So is social media addict syndrome? Is it an addict syndrome? Now, when it comes to that, I kind of think the other side is like yes, the other side is no. And it quite bears in to be in like the middle. It's quite all on what you think and not what I think. That's how it is. You can't say, you can't go up on someone and disrespect what they say and say, no, it isn't in that way at all. Because anyway, there's just a lot of that comes into view. Is that one thing is technology isn't bad. It's so great. It's amazing of its own. But the thing is, there's no need for you to just take advantage of that technology if you understand where I'm coming from. At the same time, technology is amazing, but it can also be terrible, all due by the way we're using that technology. I use mine for like emulation, playing video games and other stuff like that, making videos, just like I'm doing now, and making music. But if you're doing other stuff like that, on being on social media and yada yada yada, that's where the problem really starts. And pretty much, it isn't really dumb to say that technology isn't bad, but it's in the medium. It's kind of in the middle, where it's like a good and a bad situation. Technology isn't bad. It's helpful in many ways. To tell time, to tell whatever is happening. However, the other side is the social media side, where it's like you're using your phone for the social media. If you're using your phone just for social media, that's where it all blends in. That's where technology, that's the bad part about technology. That's where it really blends in. Whereas if you're addicted to it for like hours and hours and hours and hours on your phone, it's addicted to your phone, then that's where it's a bad thing. That's where technology really is just thriving to make you have anxiety, depression, and stuff like that. That's why it's always good to just do something else instead of being on your phone, like for a whole hour or something. Thing is, the only problem is you're kind of far away from your friends. So like if your friends are way far away from you and your friends are like living in other places but they go to the same school as you, but at the weekends you're just at home and doing other stuff like that, that's where you feel like you need phone. That's when you feel like you need a phone to text your friends, because you can't really communicate with them in real life because they're like miles away from you or far away from you, and they live in a few different places, which is the thing technology can be helpful for. Technology isn't bad, it's the way you use it. It's a source, it isn't always a tool. It's a source, it's a material source. You're the person who used it, you're the person who operated it. So, I don't know. And I've been around for a pretty long time. I know what things were like way before technology was just thriving to rise above the standards of when it was before and before that. So, yeah, pretty much. And the thing is that, it's pretty much in a weird category because in like it was like the mid 2010s, I would say, to late 2010s is when technology was just thriving. Social media was just bumping up way higher than it ever was about that way. And like in early 2010s, 2012, I was only 4 years old in that type of standard, I guess. So, as I can tell you, I was about 4 to 5 years old, I guess. And things were quite normal, They were like, I wasn't skip along, there was the Wii, and there was other stuff like that. In that one, daycare, as you know, have a big class with the bleachers and everything, with the, reading places and all of that. So, yeah, pretty much I watched Teletubbies, I watched Thomas the Train, I literally watch quite more of the 90s and 2000s to early 2010 stuff during those times. Then I watched Bob the Builder, and I also watched Shaun the Sheep, which I was literally a fan of back in the day when I was younger. Also, I'm not gonna forget Timmy Time, which I completely just loved. How there was a little sheep, and then he had friends, and he had a mom. Pretty much, it was like a lot of things about that. It's probably one of the best overall shows of that 2010s, if I'm being honest. And then there is Pokio. Then Sesame Street, which I watched. Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, The Amazing World of Gumball, which I watched, and Thomas and Friends, and that was the old one, not the one from 2021 called Trends, a total what? Oh my goodness. So yeah, those were one of the ones I watched. Pretty much I was just living in a different house, and here is a newer house and everything like that. Those were all stuff I was like a fan of back in like 2012, 2013 to 2014, and then like 2015. So yeah, then after that, then that's when things started to get startled. Now, mid 2010 was when technology was being used a lot. Like, when I mean a lot. And pretty much, it wasn't really that much. For me, mid 2010s, there wasn't really too much technology being used too much. There wasn't all that much. Just a little bit. Just a little bit being used a lot more than usual, but it wasn't that much. There wasn't really all that trap beats and everything like that. Around until the late 2010s was when it started to get a lot noticeable that social media is now becoming an obsession between kids, and that's what's the thing. 2019 when I was 11 years old was when that started to take place. You know, social media was kind of like this to that, and that's the thing. It was all the way in. So social media was definitely startling. I gotta be honest, I like the whole parts of the 2010s decade. I think they were all great. But the only thing wrong with the late 2010s was that there was too much addictive screen time. You know, it was too much kids addicted to social media, and that was when all that started to startle. And thank goodness I'm not on social media. Thank goodness I don't have Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, or any of that stuff. YouTube for me is my main source I'm going to be using to make my videos or make my own creation. TikTok and other apps like that are like messed up as heck. I know that YouTube stole the idea to have YouTube Shorts, which is kind of like TikTok, but even better. And I know how it is when it comes to copying, but making it a whole different vibe. It's pretty much different. So is social media addictive syndrome? Social media thus another addictive colossus that has to be dealt with for quite some time? Well, put your answers down below and see you all next time. It's me, Metro Gamer Night. Stay Metro.